So, and let's get this out of the way because we don't need that on the table. Okay. Hello and welcome to RUNNAH, running on Cape Cod, Massachusetts and beyond. I'm Juliana, your host. Welcome back, everyone. This week we have a fabulous guest. We have someone who is really just expanding, I would say, the fitness world here in Falmouth and bringing a lot of joy into it as well. We have Mary Tolland.
Tolland.
I always pronounce it wrong.
That's
Mary
okay.
Tolland. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you, Juliana.
Yeah. I'm super excited to have you, Mary.
I'm so pleased. Thanks so much for this opportunity, Juliana, to kind of promote the Women Run Cape Cod 5K happening on May 11th, fourth consecutive year. So I am really grateful to you for having me on today.
Yeah, I think this will be great. Like, as you already know, we're highlighting all the local races here in Falmouth, just because I feel like there are a lot of people, even who live in town, who don't realize that these smaller races that aren't like the Falmouth Road Race are happening around them. And once they realize that they're happening, they're like, oh, I would like to participate in that. And it just kind of broadens the reach that we have for the more niche local races.
Yeah, well, thank you. You're right. You know, it's a little 5K, but it's really grown in the last 3 years. This will be a fourth year. So we see an increase in the population for girls and young women and seasoned women like myself who are, who are participating. This year it's benefits the VIPS Falmouth Be Bold program.
Okay.
That has been a charity that's been donated to for the last 3 years, including it this year. And this year I'm also donating to Breakthrough T1D, which is formerly Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, which I've fundraised for many, many years through marathoning, et cetera. And coaching now a Boston Marathon team. So next Monday is a special day.
Yeah, and that's super exciting. Yeah, there's a lot of charity, like a lot of good that gets done by these races here in town, and I think that's fantastic. But we'll go a little bit more deeper into that in a few minutes. But let's hear about how you started running, Mary, and just kind of why running and physical activity and movement is important to you specifically.
Okay, kind of long story short, if that's possible with me. I
I
started running long distance when I was 40, so I was a little bit of a late bloomer.
Did you do like any kind of like exercise before that?
Yes, walked, but raising children, I was busy, and I started walking really early in the morning, and then it turned into running with a few gals back in Walpole, Mass.
Okay.
And I had a few friends that were training for a marathon, and I just kind of joined in, and before I knew it, I was running the Hyenas Marathon.
Oh, that was your first marathon?
My first marathon. After that, I did many, many Bostons, and I haven't run a marathon in about 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
So that's kind of my story. I ran in honor of my nephew, Brian, who was diagnosed when he was 4 years old with type 1 diabetes. So I dedicated every marathon after my first one to Brian. He's doing well. He's
good.
He's doing well as an adult now. And it kind of catapulted into co-coaching a team for the Boston Marathon now for juvenile diabetes.
Okay.
So this year I've decided to make that my second charity.
Awesome.
The Women's Initiative through Falmouth Road Race was kind of born from all of these running adventures I had. And when the Falmouth Running Club kind of needed something just for a women's fitness program. So that kind of took off a few years ago. We've had seminars. You actually did a nutritional seminar for the group. Many local businesses, yoga, gyms have donated offers to the women's fitness. Very generous. So that's been taking off with walk and talks a couple of times a month where we just meet to walk 3 miles and have coffee and chit chat. So it's been great.
Yeah, I think it definitely just makes fitness a little bit more approachable to have programs like that where you don't have to, like, it's great to go out and run a marathon and it's great to have these like more ambitious races and programs and things like that, but it's also good to have like just easy access programs, like things that, like the walk and talk, where you can just show up and have some coffee and go for a walk with some ladies and just have a nice time, and just make it so the entry into fitness isn't a steep slope. It's a nice gradual incline, which I definitely feel like you've done a nice job of.
Well, thanks, Juliana. And you would know, you're a seasoned runner.
Enough.
When I moved to Falmouth, I lived in Walpole for 32 years, and when I moved to Falmouth, I joined the Falmouth Running Club immediately. Before I got here, I was a member.
That sounds about right, Mary.
Yeah, right.
Knowing your personality type, that sounds correct.
So, and I noticed a lot of women were walking, running alone, and I'm,
yeah,
you know, there's something that we need to do about that.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I'm hoping that this has brought women together, and the Women Run Cape Cod 5K has certainly done that.
Yeah, so what's the origin story of the Women Run Cape Cod 5K? Because as you mentioned, we're going to our 4th year of that right now. Have you always had ambitions to be a race director, or where does that start?
It kind of tickled me along the years. Like, oh, it'd be really great to be able to be part of something like that.
Yeah.
I was approached by Jack Afarian, the former president of the Falmouth Running Club.
Yes, past guest on here as well.
About 4 years ago, and he's, we met for coffee, and he said, "So, what do you think?" And I'm like, "Me, a race director?" Well, and so it goes. So here we are.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of how it happened. My first time, and not that you ever get more comfortable with doing this. I think it keeps you humble trying to direct something like this, because it's all about pleasing the runner and the walker. So I really strive to make it go off as well as I possibly can.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it was born, and now I'm in my 4th year. It is increasing in popularity. It's on Mother's Day at 8 a.m. and race registration can happen on raceroster.com. It's live, and a few days before that, we'll have a bib pickup at the Run House and at the Timber Axe and Bowl. And the race is on Sunday morning, May 11th, at which time people can still register. My sponsors have been fabulous.
You are the queen of getting sponsors, Mary. Every time I get an email, I think you, out of every race, besides the Falmouth Road race, I think you have the most sponsors out of anyone maybe even on Cape Cod for your race. And I'm just impressed by the number of people who are donating time, energy, effort, money, whatever it is.
My volunteers have been so really loyal, wonderful people. My sponsors keep coming back, and new ones this year as well. God rest my father's soul, he always said, if you don't ask, you don't get. And it's very, very hard to ask for a donation, and I know it's even especially more difficult to give. Their Falmouth community is so generous. The Falmouth Road Race is so good to me. Gelfie's, Scott Gelfie.
They might be a little bit biased. You do work for Scott.
my boss. But it's, and Kayleen's, Gilded Oyster, Timber, the Run House, and on it goes in local Falmouth and Mashpee.
Yeah.
The outreach is great, but that's because people ask for me as well. So I can't say enough about the sponsorship. And it's, anything you need, Mary. And I hope that to my character says a lot, that I also really try to be handy for anything I can do as well. But that's kind of the story.
Yeah. So speaking about sponsors, and I know we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, that sponsorship money, some of it does go to charities that you mentioned. Do you want to talk a little bit more about the charities that it's going to? Because we mentioned the VIPS and the diabetes organization, but let's explain what VIPS is, because that's obviously a abbreviation for something that I'm sure a lot of people don't know what it is. Right. So would you like to expand on that?
VIPS is Volunteers in Public Schools. Tracy Crago at the Falmouth schools, and primarily I usually see her at the high school, runs a program called Be Bold, and it's for young girls going, in elementary or going on forward to, high school, junior high. So it's a program that she's run. And I came to know Tracy back in the beginning of the first year. And I wanted to keep at least one of my charities to be local in Falmouth. And I've also sponsored Girls on the Run.
Yes, which I'm a coach at.
A few years. And
just did it yesterday.
Yeah. And so this year it's, going to go to Breakthrough T1D, which I've been fundraising for a long time. So it's kind of a little bit of a a little favorite of mine that I've been fundraising for so long. So I said, well, why not? Maybe one of these years I'll do something for them too. As you said, the Falmouth Running Club, as we know, it's nonprofit.
Yep.
And so much of the proceeds of all of the races goes to charitable organizations. Obviously, the Cape Cod Marathon is huge, and it's all about give back, just like the Falmouth Road Race and all the Falmouth races.
I think that's one thing most people don't realize is that most running groups and also races are nonprofits and charitable organizations.
Yes.
And you look at most, I'd say like 99% of races, there's a major charity, like major within, like it's their main charity. It doesn't have to be a big charity or anything. They have a main charity that they are sponsoring via the race.
Yes. And the raffle, the donations that I give in kind or product or a gift certificate up to the larger donations, it all matters. It's, a gift certificate may not be a lot, but when you put it in the pot, the more I can save on race expenses, the more that goes to the charities and into the Falmouth Running Club that then is dispersed over what the town needs and beyond.
I definitely think it's great. Now, talking about the race itself, so this is a race that is largely marketed to women. Are guys allowed to participate in this race, or are they volunteers?
Registration is open.
Okay.
Folks, I've had a few males over the years. It's just important for folks to know that all the merch, merchandise,
it's a little bit more female focused.
Yeah, the tanks, the gifts. As Juliana has one of the tanks on.
I think this is year one, right?
Yeah. So year two, because I didn't have tanks the first year.
Okay,
right.
That's what it was.
So we've grown in merchandise.
We're getting medals this year too.
And medals too.
And medals.
Yes.
And visors.
And visors. Yes. So we've grown a little bit with merchandise. So we had 276 finishers last year.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll have more. I know a lot of folks might wake up that day with a nice day. It's Mother's Day. I realize that is not the best day to maybe have a plan. But you'd be surprised. A lot of moms, daughters, aunts, friends, gals get together and run the race. So
I feel like it's the perfect way to start Mother's Day because it's at 8 a.m. Like it's a 5K. So even if you walk it, you can finish it in about an hour. And it's a nice way to just spend the morning with some other like females and other people where you just feel that sense of camaraderie.
Yes.
And it's just, I would say the thing that people come away from it with every year that I've heard is just a hugely positive just sense of community and also just a hugely positive vibe. They're very happy about how the race has gone, anyone who's run with us previously, and just really love the environment that has been created.
I hope so. I get that vibe, even, I'm kind of flitting about here and there on that day.
Yeah, kind of all over the place a little bit.
But I have gotten some really nice comments, and the pictures, are worth 1,000 words when you see gals finishing together, and even the most seasoned women come through. So it's happening on May 11th, 8 a.m. Registration is again live and up until that morning. It's you just have to go to Race Roster and go on the event page, and you'll see everything right there. We have raffles, great raffles. Yeah. We have age category winners.
As I say, I think their prizes too, probably donated by the Gilded Oyster, correct?
We have Gilded Oyster. We have 8 Cousins. We have Liam's. So many people have given donations for prizes. We have a kids' activity table this year for crafts because I've noticed that some gals bring their children and maybe a husband's along or a spouse or a partner's along for the day, and the kids need to be busy, so we have a kids' activity table.
Okay.
We obviously we have the snacks for the runners. We have entertainment. You are I'm at
the
MC,
finish line.
my announcer, and my music.
And
and of course the race is timed. So we have age categories for the first female in each category.
Awesome.
And we have a warm up from Jenny from Sweat Studio. She does a warm up on the lawn.
Yep.
And I'm always welcome for suggestions, comments, and I'd love to hear positive feedback and negative too if I can improve upon the race.
Yeah.
I also have to give a shout out to our Falmouth Running Club administrator, Kathy.
Oh, yeah, big shout out to Kathy for everything that she does.
Who's fabulous, and she puts up with me. I'm hoping that I ask a few less questions every year, but maybe not. So I just want to get it right on behalf of the Falmouth Running Club.
Yeah, you're someone who takes their job very seriously.
I do.
Which I definitely respect that.
Thank you. Thanks. And you do too.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. But I take my job seriously, but I'm also kind of goofy. But it definitely speaks to the quality of the race too. Because like I said, everyone who I've spoken to, I've never heard a negative thing about the race.
Good.
Not once.
Good.
And granted, it's not a humongous race, but there's enough people where like there could be one stinker in the pot that just wants to say something negative, but I've just never heard anything negative about it. So.
No, and I also want to encourage and emphasize that walkers are welcome.
Of course, yes.
That is very, very important to me because that's kind of what I'm doing now, and I do a few other, obviously, forms of exercise, not running right now, but it's important to me that walkers feel welcome.
Yep.
Folks can push baby carriages at the back of the pack just so nobody gets tripped up.
Yep.
So it's everyone's welcome.
Yeah, it's very inclusive. It's just a generally welcoming environment, which I feel like is something that when you go to those like largely female populated races, the environment is just so much nicer.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
It's a lot more accepting of just like different paces, different ages, different like body shapes and sizes. Everyone is just a little bit kinder. Which I definitely find with this race too. Everyone shows up, they're in a good mood for the most part. They run, everyone's got huge smiles on their faces coming through that finish line.
As long as it's not raining.
Yeah.
We've had enough of that. So maybe
we got really lucky with the weather though the last couple of years.
Maybe we'll be blessed. I'm praying to the weather gods now. So hopefully the sun will shine, or at least it will be dry. And regardless, the race goes on.
Yeah.
Unless public safety tells us otherwise. But otherwise, it's going to happen. May 11th. Yep.
May 11th, yeah. And so this will be the 4th year.
Yes.
And you said the new things that are happening this year are the kids' table. And that's really the only like newer. And then the merchandise, we have the medals and the visors.
We had medals last year. We had visors last year.
And then one of the other fun things you do too, Mary, I'm assuming this is happening this year too, is you give flowers out.
Yes. Windfall Market, again, since the beginning of the race, they've donated carnations.
Yep.
So every finisher gets a carnation at the end. So that's really a special thing. And you know, when you think about your budget and you're cutting corners, I said that's something that will not go.
Yeah.
That has to happen. It's just kind of a little bit of a trademark of the race, and people seem to like it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really nice to see everyone leaving with like all their swag, and then they're holding the carnation in their hand. Usually like a banana in one hand and a carnation in another hand.
I know.
You know, refueling and also being decked out with your flowers. It's important.
And I also have to give a shout out. I could go on and on. I won't. But Jack and the Beanstalk is always with me with my bananas, and South 40 is donating the bars again.
Oh, awesome.
So again, I just keep asking, and hopefully people will donate. So it's all going really well.
Yeah, it sounds like it is. And I just love this inclusivity that you're promoting by not only having this race that, again, has a very welcoming environment overall and just makes people of all walks of life like able to come out, feel welcome, enjoy some physical activity, but also the Women's Fitness Initiative that you're doing too.
Yes.
That, like we mentioned, largely right now is your walk and talks that are every other Sunday as of the moment, and also all the other like kind of accoutrements, I would say, to that, which are like the sweat studio workouts, the yoga workouts, like if you do seminars like the nutrition one that I did, things like that.
Yes, we have someone offering their home for pickleball. Gratitude yoga has been very, very good to me. Cardio sport.
Yep.
Again, in my own backyard, people have been so kind to offer something for the gals to come down, and men. My cardio sport and gratitude all are welcome for those types of things. They just have to be a Falmouth Running Club member. So if you're not a member, join.
Yeah, you should become a member. It's like what, like $35 a year, depending on the level of membership.
Right.
And like we mentioned too, the money that goes from that goes largely back into either things like what you're doing, Mary, funding if you need something, events that the club puts on, and also charities.
Yes.
That's pretty much where they go. Races, events and things that the club does and charities.
Right.
That's really kind of it.
Yep.
So now for the Women's Fitness Initiative, have you had any like feedback from any of the ladies about like extra things to add or like thoughts and feelings or like anything you wanted to share in regards to that specifically?
I haven't really had, too many folks with suggestions. I tried to kind of look local at things that are easy for people to get to.
Yeah.
Many people are still working during the day, and things like cardio sport or sweat studio or gratitude yoga. They seem to kind of fit in with the niche of people want to do that, to be active. I guess the Women's Fitness Initiative was obviously something to help people move. Whether the walk and talk, but other seminars like the nutrition. I had another woman come in and talk about nutrition and fitness wellness.
Nice.
And a good friend a couple of years ago did a Zoom on nutrition. She's a nutritionist for the Boston Bruins, actually, Julie Nicoletti. So
cool.
She's based in Westwood. Fabulous, good friend, very quite a businesswoman. She did a really nice Zoom for everybody on nutrition and just things that you need for aging, supplements, etc. There's a lot of crazy marketing out there that isn't always the best thing for you. No. So she was great, but those things were popular. Folks were pretty excited about those things. So I keep trying to brainstorm, and I'm always open to feedback about what people would like to see. And if I can get it for free or a discount, I'll do it, and I'll promote it through the Falmouth Running Club. Yeah,
I also really appreciate just how much of like the community you're pulling from. Everything that you just mentioned, you keep it local. Everything that you're doing is based out of the community here, whether it's like going for the walk and talks, whether it is like promoting the race, whether it's looking for sponsors or events to like take on with the Ladies Fitness Initiative. You're very good at staying local, Mary, which I think is great. And it sounds like it's a priority to you too.
Well, we live in a great seaside community that is vibrant.
Yeah,
the Falmouth Village is vibrant. Folks asked me, I've been down here for 8 years full time, isn't Falmouth quiet? And I said, you can be as busy or as idle as you want to be, but there's so much going on.
Yeah, there's usually
Falmouth
something
Village
happening.
And there's always something going on. And Falmouth Running Club is to kudos to them. There's always something going on with the upcoming events. Again, Kathy promotes just so that people will be in the know of what's going on.
Yeah, it's a good sense of community, and that's kind of my purpose of this podcast too, is to enhance that community even more too, letting people see like your face, or see like my face, or see someone else's face on here, where they didn't realize that you had a connection to something with the running club, and then being like, oh, I'd like to participate in that, and just making the community like less reclusive and more inclusive. So that way,
you've had great guests, and to your point about exposing people that you may see on the street or at Scott Gelfie at the candy store, or oh, isn't that the girl that works behind the counter? That's me, or or any of the guests that you've had. They have a career or a profession during the day, but they're also doing these little things, big things, really around town that connect to the athletic. Realm of the community.
Yeah, somewhere on the active side of things.
Right.
Yeah, it just kind of being more well-rounded, I guess, as a community, which I feel like definitely you've done a great job with the Women's Fitness Initiative and also the Women Run Cape Cod 5K.
Thank you.
So very happy that we're doing that again this year.
Thanks, Juliana.
I think people are really gonna. Do you have goals to grow this a little bit more? Like, do you want to have more people?
Sure. I'm permitted by the town ordinance that I can have up to 500 runners.
Oh, awesome.
Participants. So sure, bring it on.
Yeah, let's do it.
But again, it's 5K. It's kind of a tricky day for people. But with that said, with the running calendar in Falmouth or even Cape, where there's so many races that when I decided on a day, there weren't many weekends to pick from.
Yeah.
So Mother's Day was it, and so now it's kind of nice. It is kind of a nice thing.
It's a great way.
I'm home by 11. If that's any, folks say, oh, I'll just be tied up. We're not. We decided I'm there at 6, like many volunteers, and I'm usually home by 11:30, and I go to Walpole for Mother's afternoon.
Yeah.
So it can be done if if you can make it.
Yeah, I mean, I usually show up around like 7, and then I'm usually done by like 10.
Yes.
Like at the absolute latest, like 9:30 to 10.
It's kind of quick and dirty.
Yeah, and like definitely you and I are there way longer than like anyone else who's running the race has to be there. Like you can easily get out and like if you show up at like 7:45 and you at least run it, you can finish in about an hour. Probably fast walk, you can probably finish it about an hour.
Right.
You can be out of there by 9.
Yes.
And plenty of day left ahead of you.
Yes.
Plenty of day left ahead of you. So, well, hopefully some more people will sign up for the race. Let's see if maybe we can hit that 500 number. You never know.
Well, that would be great. Yeah. Well, thank you.
That'd be fantastic. And so for the Women's Fitness Initiative, do you have anything on the calendar for that coming up that we'd like to kind of promote?
Not at the moment. We get by the race. The walk and talks will carry on. I have something in the works with Cardio Sport with Janine Valley, who's fabulous.
Right over here. Right?
Yes,
She's connected to this building.
Yes, Gratitude Yoga. I've been in touch with Brian over there, and he wants to set up another night where Falmouth Running Club members can come and have a yoga experience.
Yeah.
So those are kind of on my back burner. I have to get through the race first, and then the summer kind of quiets down a little bit for obvious reasons, and then I'll get pumped up for the Falmouth Road Race. So yes, so things are on the agenda.
Awesome. Yeah, and then if you'd like to sign up for the Women Run Cape Cod 5K, FalmouthRunningClub.org, correct? And then just click on.
Oh, you go on go right onto Race Roster.
RaceRoster.com,
and you'll see. You can click on events, Women Run Cape Cod 5K. It's right there. Or you can go on the Falmouth Running Club and Facebook page.
Yep.
And it's right there as well with the link to the race.
Yep. And then the race, you get the shirt and the medal. Do you get a visor this year, or is that an extra?
Shirts are guaranteed up to the first 200 runners.
Okay.
I do have vintage shirts from the 2 years ago, which are great. So
I like that you call it vintage.
Pretty much anyone who comes that day.
You get some kind of
swag.
Oh
yes, everyone gets a tag, everyone gets a medal, everyone gets a flower, a runner gift. I always have something small to give to each registrant, a little trinket of some kind.
Yeah.
But yes, tanks are up to the first 200. And then after that, again, I have many vintage tanks, so there should be plenty. I have 250 coming.
Nice.
So tanks, so everyone should be all set.
We should be all decked out. I will say I wear this tank top a lot, actually.
I know you do. I see you running on the beach road.
Yeah,
there she is.
Yeah, it works double time because it actually works really good. It's like a snot rag because of the material it's made out of.
Oh my, okay.
But it also works really good for visual reasons because it's such a bright pink that like people can actually see me, because I'm the runner who. Some people, when they go running, they're like, give me like the most blasé shoes out there. I'm like, I want the bright pink ones or whatever bright color you have, so that way people can see me.
Well, to your point, this year is like a lime green. It's really pretty.
Yeah,
so,
I saw them. They're nice.
It reminds me of that Gatorade awful yellow lime green color, but it does light up. It's pretty. So that's this year's color.
Yeah, promoting visibility and safety with the runners too.
Right.
It's always a nice time.
Yeah.
What we'll do next, Mary, is we'll do my little segment that I like to call, What Shoe Do You Choose to Use? So if you'd like to tell us what shoe you're currently wearing or a favorite shoe that you have, go for it.
Okay. Right now, currently Brooks.
Okay.
Asics was always a fave for a long time with marathoning. But Brooks seems to
be working for your feet.
Working my feet like the Brooks. So they seem to last really long through mileage. They did anyway for me. But my feet are cranky and they're I need that big toe box.
Yeah.
So Brooks works for me. But I'm open for suggestions. I wear Hoka a lot of the time when I work because it's good support for me. I'm on my feet a lot, which I like to be on my feet. But yeah, probably Brooks.
You wear the Glycerin, right? That's the shoe that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember selling that to you when you were at the RUNNAH. Yeah, the Glycerin's like a good, little bit higher cushion, but not super bananas crazy high off the ground.
Right.
It does have that little bit wider toe box, which is kind of nice.
I need that, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Juliana.
Yeah, I'm so excited that you were able to come on the show today. And friends, go ahead and head over to the Falmouth Running Club website or head over to Race Roster and go ahead and sign up. We're going to try and break the bank at 500 runners, right?
Sure. Juliana, thanks so much for making the time for me today.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do it, Mary. You can come back anytime.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and if you want to talk about the Women's Fitness Initiative a little bit more or something, whatever it is, that's cool. We'll have you back on.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're good. That was a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
So for people, but just remember, Women Run Cape Cod 5K, May 11th, Mother's Day, 8 a.m.
Yep.
And
you can sign up day
registration is ongoing.
Yep.
Up until the morning of.
Yep. Fantastic.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah. And thank you all for listening and watching today. If you'd like to get in contact with me over here at RUNNAH, you can head over to at RUNNAHPod on Instagram, or you can send me an email at runnahpod@gmail.com. And that's going to be the end of today's episode, and we will see you guys on the next episode of RUNNAH. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.
That was great, Mary.
What was that?
It's 12:37.
That's awesome. Thanks.
There we go.
I hope that was all right.
I think you did a great job. Thank you for listening to this episode of RUNNAH. This podcast is edited, hosted, and produced by me, Juliana Coughlin. Brought to you in part by the Falmouth Running Club and the Falmouth Community TV station. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Instagram and on TikTok at RUNNAHPod, and you can send us an email at runnahpod@gmail.com. And our original theme music was brought to you by the one and the only wonderful Jeffrey Hutton. And keep up the great work. I'm proud of you.